Did you know there's a planning method that works especially well with a neurodiverse brain? It's surprisingly simple and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Once you've learnt it, you're not going to want to plan any other way again. In fact, you might be so happy with it, you subscribe to the channel. I've helped hundreds of companies around the world fix their broken strategies. And regardless of being neurodiverse or not, I can tell you traditional planning methods, they don't work. Drop a comment if you agree. What if instead of guessing forward, we flip that and we start at the end and we build backwards? For neurodiverse thinkers, it's a game changer. You don't need any special skills, you just need something to write on. So we start at the end of the year and at the top of your paper, write on the 31st of December, I looked back at the goals that I set in January and every single one of them had been achieved. Some had even been exceeded. Then underneath, describe exactly what that looks like the example that I'm showing you on the screen. Not fantasy, best case believable. Neurodiverse minds, they get overwhelmed by unrealistic goals. So no miracles. If it needs miracles, then rewrite it. Believable goals, they help your nervous system keep calm, and calm brains, they plan better. Show it like a snapshot of your life. Now pause, look at that page. That's your future. That's where we plan to arrive in December. This is where we start building backwards. So let's travel back to the halfway point of the year, June. On a new sheet, write, this was only possible in December because in June and then list out the must-haves, the things that June must have or otherwise December collapses. So in the example I'm showing, if we're not selling 200 monthly subscriptions by June, we won't be able to sell the 1,000 monthly subscriptions planned for December. Do you see the logic? If June doesn't have it, December won't be able to magically fix itself. This allows you to adjust early and not burn yourself out. The plan collapses if it doesn't have solid foundations, so let's keep it simple. Same move, let's walk backwards again to the halfway point between June and January, which is March. So on a new sheet at the top, write, this was only possible in June because in March Now your momentum isn't mysterious anymore. You can see how you'll build it. It's visible, and visible progress is going to keep your brain engaged. Clarity beats motivation, especially for neurodiverse brains. So one more time, let's walk it back from March to January to see what we need to establish in January to get those results in March. So new sheet, right at the top, this was only possible in March because in January and then list out those first building blocks that we need. Neurodiverse thinkers, they thrive when plans are visual and logical. When you look at all of your sheets together now, it clicks. You know the future that you're building towards in December. You know what must be true in June to make December happen. You know what foundations need to be laid in March to make June happen. And you know what building blocks need to be put down in January for everything to happen. Suddenly the plan looks less chaotic. What you've done here is you've mapped causality, and now you have clarity. You're not guessing anymore, and you're clear on what those first steps are to build success. So your next steps are going to be simple. You're just going to go through this again, adding in more detail. So start in December and work your way backwards again. We've been using an example based on a calendar year, but this method works for any goal across any timeline. So for example, if you've got a 6-week project, look at the outcomes you're trying to establish in week 6. Then we work back to week 3 and see what needs to be true in week 3 for week 6 to happen. And then we can go back to week 1 to see what are the building blocks that we need to establish there. Planning this way feels more natural. It's like you're not creating a plan, you're telling a story, and your brain feels calmer as it starts to see the story unfolding. If you'd like feedback on your backwards plan, subscribe, drop your plan in the comments, I'll take a look and I'll share my thoughts. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.